Lesson 115, relative sizes of sides and angles of a triangle. Here you can see three different triangles here. We can always determine which one is the longest side and the shortest side, or the biggest degree to the smallest degree. Everything is based off of the angle size, because the largest angle here is always opposite the largest side. Or we can think of it here, the smallest angle is opposite the smallest side. So that is a quick way to determine which side is the smallest or which side is the longest, or when you're dealing with angles, which angle is the biggest and the smallest. Let's take a look at an example here. The smallest length is always opposite the smallest angle, as I just said, and the longest length is always opposite the largest angle. So here, C would be our biggest angle. This is always opposite. So we would have angle C is the largest degree. Angle A is the smallest. That means opposites. That would be the smallest side. That means angle B would be the medium. So opposites would be the middle length. So if you look at here, angle A is smaller. So angle A is less than angle B, which is less than angle C. And BC is less than AC or CA, which is less than AB. So example 1, list the sides of this triangle in order from shortest to longest. First, we need to know what are all the angles. All triangles add to 180. Since 159, 161, if we were to think about the average would be 60 degrees. So first we need to find out angle P. So 59 plus 61 will give us 120. That means if I take 180 and I minus 120, that would give us 60. That means this is 60. That is important to know exactly what each of the angles are, so now we can determine the side lengths. So the smallest, because it says from the shortest, we want to find the shortest. So angle 59 is the shortest, so opposite, we would say PQ is the shortest. And the next one is angle P, because that's 60, going opposite that would make it RQ. That means our longest side, angle Q, opposite, or biggest angle is angle Q. That means our P would be the longest side. Example 2, the lengths of sides of ABC are given. List the angles in order of size from smallest to largest. So here we just go in the opposite direction. So opposite, think of what is the shortest side. So 7 is the shortest. So opposite would be the smallest angle. So we would have angle C is the smallest. Next shortest is 8. Opposite 8 is angle A. That leaves us with 9 is the longest side. Opposite angle 9, or side 9 would be angle B. Example problem 3 and 4. If we know the lengths of side AC, how could we find the lengths of side WY? So find WY if AC is 6. So they're saying this is 6 here. Since these would be similar triangles, we know that they would be similar, because if they have similar angles here, that this is 85, that means this has to be 40, this has to be 55. With similar triangles, we know that they're going to be proportional. So if I take 8 and I go over 6, because those are the same side of the triangle, of similar triangles, so they are directly proportional, I can reduce this by 2 halves, and I would get 4/3. And so now I can take my scale factor, which is 4/3, and I can multiply that by 6 right here to find out my answer. So now I have 4:3 as 6 of the large one is to x. We'll just say this one is x, and the small one. So I can cross multiply here. 6 times 3 is 18 equals 4 times x divided by 4. 18 divided by 4, x would equal 4.5. So this would be 4.5 here. Next one, find WY if AC is 6.4. So this is 6.4 here. So we could do the same thing. It's the same ratio, so 4:3. Or you could do 8:6. It's the same as 6.4 is to, we'll call this x. So we have 3 times 6.4. Divide that by 4. We get an answer of 4.8. So I just cross multiply and divide. And the last one here, which angle is the smallest angle? Well, if we compare our side lengths, 0.19 is the smallest, is the shortest side. So if we go opposites, angle Y would be the smallest angle. And our last slide, find the measure of angle CBD. So CBD would be CBD, this one. So we're looking here. This is 62. This is 90 because of this box here. So we have 60 plus 90, or 62 plus 90. That gives us 152. And if I subtract 180 from that, that would give us 28 degrees. So this would be 28 degrees. BD, or DBA, so DBA, if this is 90, that means these two have to equal 90. So if I know part of it is 28, I can take 90 minus 28. 8 minus 2 is 6. So we would say this would be 62 degrees. And then we can find angle DAB. So DAB, we have one that's 60 plus 62 plus A has to equal 180. So this is 122 plus A equals 180. Subtract 122 on both sides. Angle A has to equal 58 degrees. And it says arrange these segments in order from the shortest to the longest. So AB, AD, BD, BC, and DC. So let's look at AB. AB directly across is 60. AD 62. I'm going to put the angle next to it. So AB, this would be 60. AD would be 62. BD is angle A. This is 58. BC 62. And DC here 28. So the shortest one has to be DC. Then comes BD. Then comes AD. Then comes BC, and the longest side, actually it would be AB first. Then BC, and the longest side is BC and AD. BC and AD are the longest. They're tied with 62. So that's our lesson today on relative sizes of sides and angles of a triangle.